Welcome to Reimagining Abilities, our podcast telling some of the stories of the individuals we support.
She started 2 years ago working for Cardwell with Regional, and she achieved her goal. She is now maintaining 2 jobs, working for Cardwell as well as Charles Lee. So we were really, really proud of her.
CJ's role is very critical because she's responsible for taking it from our kitchen on the second floor all the way. I think CJ does all of the tower units, so that would be 2 tower, 5 tower, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So after the drop off, we give them an hour and a half, and then she's responsible for going back to that unit, bringing it back to the kitchen for the next meal period. CJ is great. CJ is always here. She never calls out. Anything we ask her to do, even to go above and beyond things outside of her duty, she's always willing to help. I laugh at her all the time. She's just a glimpse of energy. She's always dancing, always singing. She will literally brighten up any day. So she's been a great asset to the team. Somebody could be down or something, and she's always speaking, hello, how you doing? Or like I said, her smile, her positive energy, that can brighten anyone's day. So.
When we first met CJ, she was different from anybody that we had met because she was a little bit standoffish. Like, she didn't want to really let you in to her personal space. Like, she didn't really talk a lot. And when we did talk, she didn't seem like she was present in the conversation. She had a lot going on outside of the work environment, a lot of distractions and stuff. And we just continue to just try to warm up, thinking, well, maybe she's just new. She's a little shy. She's a little nervous. We thought it was a lot of nervous energy. She was young and probably new to the workforce, so she really didn't know how to take us, didn't really know how to interact with, new people. So we just continued to kind of break the walls down. And then one day she came to me and she said, I'm going to work and I'm going to buy myself a car. And I said, really? She said, yeah, that's my goal. And I said, okay. I said, well, I tell you what, you can achieve any goals you set for yourself if you work hard. 2 years later, she was like, guess what? I got some money saved up. I said, CJ, really? How much? She said, I can't tell you. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, you keep going, you keep going. And eventually she did. She purchased her very own car, I think.
When CJ first came to us, she was very introverted. She was quiet. She seemed to have some nervous energy about her. She was very kind, but very standoffish at times. Through time and just getting to know her and building a trust relationship with her, she slowly started coming out of her shell. But there was a lot of anxiety that she spoke to us about. There was a lot of external factors that were playing a part in her day-to-day life. But we kept with it. She stayed with us, and she worked through it, and we worked through it with her. And it took a little bit, but she has really come out better on the other end of it all. That's basically what we do. We kind of insert ourselves into people's personal, their job life, and are there for support. Sometimes we're there just to talk. We go a little bit above to give them the support that you wouldn't necessarily get on a job site. When CJ came to us, she was with us for maybe a year, and she spoke a lot of, how do I get a job at Regional? I think I'd like to get a job at Regional. And I was like, you know what? The best thing is they see you here every single day. You show them that you're committed to the job you have, And then when something comes available, they'll be like, hey, I know who you are. I've seen you working here before. You're always at work, you know. We do a lot of on-the-job training, you know. If they've never been able to keep a job, we're there to help them figure out those things that they might need to know to keep that job going forward, you know, if they ever were to leave us. I mean, that's the point of why we built this program, is to help people find community employment. But with that, they have the support and the training that they might need so that when they do, hopefully leave us, because the point is not to keep somebody cushioned into where we want them. We want them to learn what that job market looks like out there, and then take those skills that they learn with us and go get a job of their choosing and be successful at it.
Well, I work with EVS, environmental service, I call it EVS. And what I basically do, I go around, I clean bathrooms, I make sure they are clean and everything like that. And what I learned throughout is that you have to do your job thoroughly. Even though you're not playing a role as a nurse or a doctor or anything like that, I didn't really realize that until later on, until COVID started to hit, saying, hey, if it wasn't for us keeping these bathrooms clean or these rooms clean, it would be chaotic. I would say my faith in God, you know. He's the head of my life. I thank him every day. Really just clinging on to the joy that's inside of me and everything like that. Some days I need to boost myself and everything, but I just think about the goodness of God. He's, like I say, he's the head of my life, provider, he's everything. And, you know, I have a whole village and everything like that. Thankful for the opportunity. You know, there has been times where I didn't think I would be cut out for the job. At the time, I lived with my mother. She was a drug addict at the time, but she's sober and doing great now, thank God. And there were times I couldn't be the best or dependable worker because I depended on her to take me back and forth to work. But it was always a ram in the bush, like they say. It was always, God had always sent somebody my way to make sure I get to work on time, I get picked up on time, and that really made me the worker, the best dependable, consistent worker that I am today. And I didn't think I would literally make it to be the best dependable worker because of those things, but it's all because of God. The last thing I would say to a person with a disability is cling on to your beliefs, whatever that looks like for you, whatever you believe in. Mine is prayer and faith in God, and just reshuffle the cards that you've been dealt with.
For me, I think the most important thing for able and disabled-bodied people is to understand that life happens to everybody. We should not just write a person off because everybody have things going on at home, and you can lose out on a very valuable employee if you're not willing to work with the outside life issues, because it's just a moment in time. And I realized with CJ, it was just a moment in time, and if we were able to help her get through what was happening in that moment of time, here we are 6 years later with a wonderful employee that we could have lost or missed out on if we wasn't willing to invest in her in that moment of time that she was going through. And for me, and just like any other able-bodied or disabled-bodied person, you have great people who just need support to get through whatever life is throwing at them in a moment. Just like you and I, we can be going through something that just need a little support to get us through what we're going through, and then we can be that wonderful employee that we have on the inside. If we have a supervisor or a manager that's willing to help us get through that moment. So it's very important to support the people you have within your department or your company. If you're willing to invest in a person, it'll probably wind up being one of the better investments you ever had.
If you want to support us, you can contact us at our website, www.charleslee.org.